Ba bum, bada bum, bum bum bum. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Monday mini medicine card reading session. I am Patrick. I will be your friendly neighborhood shaman for the evening. Welcome. Come on in. Take your shoes off. I am, as per usual, I am still getting set up. So bear with me for a minute. So if you're new here, thank you for joining us and welcome. And so I was afraid I was going to be a little late, but we made it. Woohoo! And like I am, well, thanks, love. Like I am most Monday nights, I'm a little bit tuckered and stuff because I've been working all day down at Chris. I should try to just focus on one thing at a time. Normally on Mondays I work at Crescent Moon Gifts down in Tacoma, doing card readings all day. That's where I was today, and I'm a little tuckered, and I know there's a full moon, or not a full moon, a new moon, and I'm so connected to the moon that it's like sometimes I can't sleep during a new moon, sometimes I can't sleep during a full moon. But I didn't get too much sleep last night either, so I'm a little bit crazy. Never mind me. But so, welcome. Thank you for joining me. What we are going to do is medicine card readings, and I think I'm going to do something different. I wasn't sure absolutely until just now, but because it's a new year, this is the first Monday of the new year, I thought I would do a full reading. Instead of doing, normally I pull 3 cards and have you choose a number between 1 and 3, and then I do a reading on the 3 cards I pull, and whichever card corresponds to the number you choose, that is your guidance for the night. Just forgive me for being a little bit tired and out of it, but that's your guidance for the week. But tonight, I was thinking, because it is the new year, first Monday of the new year, let's do a full card spread to kind of get a feel for the new year, to see kind of what, rather than who's there for you for just the week, let's see which animals are showing up to kind of guide all of us into the new year, into bigger and better things. I'm just smudging my cards. Let's get a little Osho going. So yeah, I like to smudge my cards before I do this, since I've been doing readings all day long. And I love this deck. I had someone else, I did a reading for someone this afternoon that she was just so impressed with the deck. It's like, what is that called? I need to get one for myself. And so, yeah, I've had medicine cards. Oh my God, that smells so good. I can't really see this. There we go. the smudge wasn't actually lifting up to the camera, but I am smudging the cards. But for me, the animals have always spoken to me a lot more than just like the arcana and the archetypes of the tarot and all that kind of thing. I love that kind of thing. I love anything with symbol, like deep symbolism and mythology and all of that kind of stuff. But to me, the animals are just so much more alive. And so you're off the hook tonight, since you don't have to choose a number, because we're gonna pull actual full 5 cards, and they're gonna be in a medicine wheel spread. So it's gonna be 5 cards, the 4 directions, and then center, which is spirit. And we'll just see what happens. It just feels like a good anchor point to get like a full, rather than just kind of a one hit wonder kind of thing. Let's do a full spread. All right. Interesting. Okay. So this is a spread. Basically, what does everybody need to know about the upcoming year? And don't get me wrong, this is not a prediction. This is not telling you exactly what's going to happen or what you have to watch out for or anything like that. This is just a snapshot of the energy right now, basically of the world, or everybody watching this right now. So if you're watching this, these are the cards that energetically reflect what is going on with you as we meet this new year. This isn't about what's going to happen and what we have to protect ourselves against and all of that. It's about moving forward. But these are the animals coming in to watch over us, to guide us through this coming year. So, like I said, this is I don't know if I can try to, so you can see, those are the cards. And so that's the spread. So starting in the east where the sun rises, we have squirrel. And so east is air, so that is the mental realm. And so what squirrel medicine is about is resourcefulness. Okay, this is going to get interesting, because I just, looking at the cards, it's like I get these feelings going, and I don't know exactly what words are going to come out of my mouth to explain them, but I get there's like some really dynamic stuff going on here. So in the east, squirrel, and so especially since squirrel is upright, it's a sign of it's a sign of all the work you've done mentally, all the, how do I put it? Being able to see the flow of abundance. Squirrel, in a way, is about abundance, not in the same way that like buffalo is or turkey, but squirrel is always taken care of, right? He finds the nuts on the ground, the acorns, and he's so overjoyed. And so he receives it with gratitude, and then he returns it to the earth. He buries the nuts and the acorns and stuff. So it's a flow of energy, just like our money is called currency because it's a current. It's supposed to flow. And so, counter to popular belief, squirrel isn't about squirreling away for a rainy day. Squirrel doesn't care about the rainy day in the future. Squirrel is here now. Oh my God, that's the biggest acorn I ever saw, right? He's here now. He's enjoying the moment. He's doing what his heart calls him to do. Grab this acorn and then bury it. And by following his heart in the moment, come some rainy day, some cold and bleak winter, he's like, I'm hungry. Oh, there's that great big giant acorn over there that I buried. And so by taking care of himself in this moment, he's taken care of in every moment. So this is in the East, in the mental realm, it's like you have attained a certain awareness of how that system works. You know, it's not the, your resources are spread out. Your resources, like I like to say, it's like your only source of abundance is creator, is connection to your spirit. And any place that abundance shows up in your life, from in like people or situations or whatever that bring money in, that's a reflection of your connection to source. And so like squirrel, when you have that connection, that one connection, it's going to be reflected in many different facets. Like all the nuts, like squirrel doesn't have one big bank. He grabs nuts from here, from over there, buries them. His resources are spread out. And so it's kind of a realization with the changing world and kind of the crumbling of the old structures, to realize that you are your own resource, and to be able to see how it actually works, how you might get something, you need something, boom, there's someone over here with the answers, or that can do what you need done. And then boom, you need something else, there's something else here. You're not beholden to one person, one system to get your abundance. And it doesn't even necessarily need to be, the abundance isn't just money. It's everything, food, clothing, everything you need to be taken care of. So there's a mental awareness of how it works. But what's interesting here, if we go like, so squirrel is in the east, and if we jump over to the west, the place of water and emotion, balancing squirrel, we have weasel, but weasel is in reverse. So even though we have the mental acuity to see what's going on, and it makes sense to us, and we're not quite there emotionally yet. Weasel, I always kind of call weasel like the secret agent of the animal kingdom, because weasel medicine is about knowing things you're not supposed to know. It's like they are so quick. If you've ever seen a weasel like in the zoo or someplace, their metabolism is so fast. They have to constantly eat, and they're constantly zipping everywhere. With the Minnesota Zoo, we used to sit, and it was so fun to just sit and watch the weasel, because he never stopped, and he like basically covered every inch of his enclosure because he just couldn't stop. So So Weasel is about being like, because he's in to everything. He's in and out before people realize it. So he hears things, he sees things, he knows things, but like that he's not supposed to. And so that is likened to our intuition, right? Where all of a sudden we know something. We think about somebody, boom, and they call us on the phone or something. Weasel is about acknowledging those intuitive hits, those synchronicities, realizing how everything is connected. The thing is, in reverse, the way Weasel is popped up here, right opposite of Squirrel, is like the mental area. We see how it's supposed to work. We're still catching up emotionally. In reverse, Weasel tends to be the hamster wheel, overthinking. And it's interesting because it tends to be a very mental card, right? It's about psychic abilities, intuition, receiving messages, knowing things. Yet it's over here in the West, in the water, in the emotional arena. And so it's like, basically between those two cards, we know what it's supposed to look like. We're there mentally. We just haven't figured out how to make it work in a practical manner. Like emotionally, we're kind of like, it's like, okay, I'm abundant. I have all the abundance I need. Everything I need comes to me easily and effortlessly. Okay, now, where's that new car? It's like, oh crap, am I going to be able to pay rent this month? And so it's like, we know the money's there, we know we're resourceful, we know we're taken care of, but there's a small part of us emotionally that keeps looking ahead, trying to maybe stack the deck a little instead of just letting go and trusting, So it's kind of like, that's one of the things that we'll be working on this year, is bringing Weasel back around to the point where, rather than kind of fighting each other, like Squirrel's burying the nuts and Weasel's trying to chase and trying to remember, like keep track of where all the nuts are, etc. When Weasel comes upright, once we get that deeper emotional experience and knowing that can support the mental knowing, then those two work together, and we're gonna know. It's like, oh, I don't have to worry about rent. I can feel that money coming from somewhere, or and you just get these intuitive hits. You get little glimpses into the future. So that's one of the things that we'll be working on. But know that is coming. That balance is imminent, and that at some point that emotion is going to catch up to this. And you won't probably even notice it. It'll be one of those things where, you're just going along your way, and all of a sudden something happens, and you realize, wait a minute, a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever, that would have freaked me the heck out, right? And so it's like almost like you realize it after the fact. Oh my God, it already happened. Kind of like, spring shifting into fall, or winter shifting into spring. Is just all of a sudden, oh my God, it's warm out. You don't even realize it's such a subtle change, like in the color, like the colors of the rainbow. There's no clear, this is red, this is orange, this is yellow. It doesn't, there's no, it fades one into the next. And so it's going to be a gentle and subtle shift, but that shift is coming. Down in the south, the place of fire, which is the place of action, but it's also the place of passion and desire. That fire that burns within us, that drives us toward our goals, drives us for that fulfillment. So the South to me is kind of a place of purpose. And down in the South, it's really interesting. We have like this triad of little woodland creatures, but in the South we have badger. And that is part of why I can be so confident that this is going to shift, because badger is tenacity. Badger is focused, like setting an intention, and then nothing gets in his way. Nothing sways him. Nothing changes him. He get like hell or high water, he's gonna get to that place. He's like a tank, and he will go through or over or under, whatever he has to do to get to that goal. You know, it's just like when you talk about stop badgering me, it's like someone that's just tenacious and just doesn't let go. That's badger. So so whatever your purpose is, this isn't like, say, giving me a clear, like, because everyone watching this has a different purpose here. And so it's more of a general thing of, okay, those fires within you, those desires, those passions are going to be tenacious. Like, what I'm getting is it's no longer a choice to follow your highest good. It's just going to happen. And you can fight it if you want, but it's going to happen. Nothing is going to sway you from finding that fulfillment. And one thing that, like, I was actually, it's funny, I was thinking about badger earlier today, and you know, there's a difference between doing something, how do I put this into words? Rebelling against something and aiming for something and having to go through someone else. I don't know if that's the right way to put that. But it's like, you have your own purpose. Like, I have my own purpose, and I can see what that purpose is. I can feel what that purpose is. So that is the destination that I type into my spiritual GPS system, right? And so, come higher hell water, I am going to get to that destination. I might have to go through some uncomfortable places. I might have to stand in my power to face things that I might not want to face to get there, but I will get there, you know. And it's different when you like when we rebel against something, we set our sights at, you know, overturning something or just overwhelming the opposing opinion or whatever. There's no power there. That's just that. It's conflict. It's banging against the heads, and your only goal is to smash these people or overcome them or change them. And so it's not a true calling, heartfelt calling. Your destination is that. When Badger sets his destination, there might be people who are opposed to you because your destination is on the other side of them, and you have to go through them to get there. But that is different than rebelling against these people. You know, and a lot of times the people who stand in the way of that progress. It's like you're either with us or against us, you know, and they only think in duality. And if I'm coming at them, if I have a different opinion and I'm coming at them, that I am oppositely, you know, I'm what's the term I'm looking for? Polarly opposed to them and fighting them. Like my goal is to undo them, when my goal is actually to get this place over here. And if I have to change these people, you know, it's about that tank. Badger being that tank. It's being self-contained and confident and courageous, because you know you're going to get to that. The passions within you are the fuel. They are the rocket fuel that drive you forward toward that joy, toward that fulfillment. Like Joseph Campbell used to talk about following your bliss. That's following your bliss. And you don't set yourself up to be opposed to others or to, you know, fight your way through. You just keep going and going and going. And when you're in your power, you're in that tank, like Badger, there's no one that can come against you. You don't want to mess with a Badger. They are fierce, and they will mess you up. So, okay, thank you. One of the things that I've been really aware of this year, this turning of the year, was echoed on, I don't know if any of you watch or listen to Sandra Ingerman's podcast, The Shaman's Cave, but she was talking on there about not listening to the predictions. You know, it's the new year. Everyone is putting out predictions of what it's going to be and what we're going to find and what we have to do to protect ourselves and all this these crappy things that are going to happen and blah, 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 blah. Don't listen to any of that. No one else's predictions have anything to do with you. You are a sovereign divine being. You set your own course, and there is no one who can take you away from that path. That's what that point is, that this year is going to be a year of breaking barriers, of breaking through to get to where we're meant to be. Does that make sense? There is nothing going to get in our way, and we are going to come through empowered and changing the world as we go. Okay? So that's the South. For anyone coming in late, we're not doing our normal 3-card pull tonight. I decided, since it's the beginning of the year, I would do a full spread. So we've got a full medicine wheel spread going on here. I've done east, west, and south, and now we are coming to the north. And north is Earth. It's the logistical, physical world. And so we have Dolphin up here. Dolphin is about the breath. So if you don't already, I would highly recommend some sort of meditation practice. It doesn't have to be meditation. It doesn't have to be sitting and breathing and that. If that doesn't work for you, it doesn't appeal to you, there are so many other things that are meditative. Sewing, beading, drawing, as I list off all the things that I do. Tai Chi, you know, if you have trouble just sitting, Tai Chi, you get to find that peace within, that connection within, and still move. And the movement becomes part of that stillness. But what Dolphin brings in is, this is beautiful. Um, dolphin brings in the breath. You know, dolphin is a mammal. Dolphin is not a fish. And so they need to breathe the air. So they have a rhythm of rising to the surface, taking a breath, diving and swimming through the world. Like if you think of air as spirit and the water as the world, dolphin needs that spirit in order to traverse the world. It's just like Dr. Wayne Dyer talks about being a spiritual being having a human experience rather than a human being having a spiritual experience. Spirit is your origin. Spirit is your essence. It's what makes you up. And so we have this rhythm every day of connecting to spirit, doing some sort of meditation or something where we can lose ourselves and connect to spirit, align with our spiritual self. Then that gives us the breath of spirit we need to be able to navigate through this world. It's totally that, you know, spirit having a human experience thing. It's bringing in that balance of spirit and physical reality, where when you connect to spirit, then everything you do moves from that place of center, of love, of connection. And so everything you do is inspirited, inspired. And when you move in the world in an inspired manner, the changes that happen are exponential. One person who is in alignment is more powerful than a million people who aren't. Or so says Abraham Hicks. But I believe him. The other good news with dolphin is I believe this year is not going to be as hard and tough as we thought it would. Like I said, this is the physical. Can you hear me? Deb says you lost audio. I just want to make sure everybody can hear me. Anybody? Thumbs up? Okay. Sorry, Deb, I guess it must be something on your end. Okay. So you might have to watch this afterwards, Deb. So, anyway. So, dolphin is... You can't look at a dolphin and not smile or laugh. They're fun. They, it's like, I always go back to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. If you've ever read the book or seen the movie or the TV series, but it talks about how humans have always thought themselves superior to dolphins because humans have invented buildings and civilizations and war and digital watches, and dolphins do nothing but muck about in the water having a good time. And of course, the dolphins believe they are superior to humans because of the very same things. And so I think, you know, this is north, so it's the physical reality again. And so I think the breath, we're going to be able to breathe better this coming year. It's going to be a little more playful, a little more energetic, getting our bounce back. Being able to do those acrobatics, you know, like dolphin leaping out of the water. I think it's going to be a year of finding a lot of alignment, and I think that's why these two are opposite each other in the north and the south. It's like we're connecting to spirit, which gives us that tenacity to just go where we're going and not care about anyone getting in our way. So then in the center, which is the spirit, which is kind of the hub of the wheel, we have antelope in reverse. So, it's interesting. It's interesting to see how it relates to all the other cards, because antelope is about sacrifice, but it's not about giving up the best of yourself so that someone else can be better off. That has nothing to do with sacrifice. The real meaning of sacrifice, the word sacrifice, is to make sacred. And it's like, I was raised Catholic, so I have many seasons of Lent under my belt. And, it's like the idea behind Lent and sacrificing something you like, it's not, like being Catholic, it was always the guilt, like it was based on the guilt, and we needed to suffer, in order to make Jesus's time on the cross worthwhile, right? Or you have to suffer and offer that suffering up for the poor souls in purgatory, so that they don't need to suffer quite as much to get to heaven or whatever. So that's kind of a backwards idea of sacrifice. But truly, the idea, even with Lent, is not to give something up you love so that you suffer. It's to give up something that that's a distraction from your alignment. It tends to be sugar or food or drink or whatever. And the point is not to suffer through it. The point is to see who you are without those things. It's sacrificing the things, the thoughts, the emotions that no longer serve you, that actually hold you down rather than lift you up. The idea behind antelope and the sacrifice is and it goes along with dolphin in a way that left alone, so here's the analogy. Your soul is like a beach ball. Stay with me. And so you have the beach ball, you're holding it underwater, right? It doesn't belong underwater. It wants, the air in the ball wants to meet the air in above the water, just like I was talking about with dolphin and getting that breath of spirit and then being able to navigate through the world. And so the longer you try to hold that beach ball under, the harder it is to hold it down. And eventually it's going to find its way back up. Left alone, your soul will naturally rise to spirit, to that higher vibration you're meant to be. And so it's sacrificing those things that are holding you underwater and letting yourself rise. So the thoughts or the emotions, especially since Weasel is here on the emotional end, reversed, it's like we're releasing all those emotions of feeling small, insignificant, unconnected. Weasel is about seeing the connections in everything. And so in reverse, it's like, I don't know if I'm connected, feeling that isolation. But so with antelope here, we're working on sacrificing those thoughts, those feelings, those people, those situations which keep us small, which hold us under the water, because it's time to rise. It is time to keep going tenaciously to whatever that purpose is, whatever your goals are, and play with it. Life is meant to be fun. There's actually a story that goes with antelope that kind of illustrates the whole idea, and that is that long ago, when humans first came across the Bering Strait, the land bridge into the Americas, it was the Ice Age, and they were vegetarian. So they found themselves in this new land, new fauna, new flora. They didn't know what they could eat. They didn't know how to take care of themselves in this new environment. They were starving, they were freezing. The plants were all frozen, dead, so they didn't know how to feed themselves. And Antelope saw their plight, and he rushed in and said, "Here, take my flesh for your food, use my hide for your clothing and for your housing, and my bones for your tools," etc. He saw a need and he jumped in and sacrificed himself, knowing he was not the body, knowing that he was the spirit animating that body, and that giving up his physical being would allow him to rise into a higher awareness, and with the full knowledge that he would be reborn into the herd the following spring. So it was a sacrifice without really sacrificing anything. And so it's like, who will I be if I don't have those thoughts? All those thoughts and those emotions that hold us down, that keep us small, that keep us feeling inadequate, those are actually things that have protected us in the past. They are ways of thinking, of organizing our thoughts and our emotions in a way that protected us in the past, when we didn't have, anyone advocating for us, and depending on what your family life was like, and needing protection from people you should have been getting support from, etc., etc. And so we create these forms, these thought forms, these emotional forms to protect us. It becomes our armor. But now it's time to let that armor go, because now, rather than protecting us, it's holding us down. And so it's sacrificing that armor and releasing ourselves from that prison that at one point served us and no longer serves us. And so it's time to let that fall away and to rise to the surface, to get that breath of spirit, so we can come into the world, be in the world but not of the world, and in that way be a force toward healing this world, healing this planet and all her peoples and all her creatures, all her beings. So it's not asking you to lop off an arm or a leg in order for someone else to survive. It's about giving up those things that you don't need, that don't further you, because it's a non-zero sum. As one of us does better, as one of us rises in frequency, we raise the entire world. We serve the entire world. When we do well, everyone else does well as well. So if sacrificing something helps you, it's a mutual healing. All healing is mutual. And so and it not, and I know I kind of, the way I say these things, it kind of comes out with this kind of Disney-fied glitter and everything, but it's not necessarily fun. It's not necessarily easy, but it is worthwhile. And with Badger down here being the fuel for that fire, that tenacity to keep going, this year I feel a real shift coming, a deepening, and really a realization of who we are individually and who we are collectively connected to the same source. And I think these two, so these are the two cards that were reversed. This is in the center, this was in the west, in the water area, emotional, and this is the center. And so the reason these are reversed is not because you failed and it's too late. They're reversed because that is what is shifting under the surface. It's reversed because the spirit of it is here, it just hasn't manifested yet. It wouldn't be here if that wasn't where we were meant to be. And so Weasel and Antelope are dancing under the surface, and we have the benefit of our drive, of our fire, and our breath, our connection, and our resourcefulness that gives space for these things to shift so that we can deepen that emotional connection to the universe, deepen that emotional trust, faith in your intuition, in your guidance. You know, that's my whole point of what I do, is to empower people and to help others recognize that intuitive voice, that intuition within their heart. And this is the year. There's going to be that deepening, that connection, and so that when we learn who we are and we can let go of the things that we are not, then we can relax. You know, Antelope knows his powers. He knows his strengths. He doesn't have to be hyper vigilant looking for, you know, threats 24/7. Number one, he's in a herd, a community that support each other, so there's always someone kind of checking. And so the antelope can relax and just graze because, you know, they're on a hair trigger. Like the moment there's the hint of a threat, choom, they're gone. And antelope, pronghorn is, I believe, the fastest animal on the planet next to the cheetah. And so it's like there's danger, gone. And so you don't have to be all tight and prepared. You can relax because you can trust yourself to get out of the way, to leap out of a situation, or conversely to leap in to a situation when you can help, when what you need to give is what is needed for someone else to receive. You know, and it's like that. I don't know if anyone's heard of the group Labana. It's a women's group, mostly a cappella, and there's a song they sing about the bird. Be like the bird who pauses in her flight on a branch so slight that it gives way beneath her, but sings, sings, knowing she has wings, but sings, sings, knowing she has wings. I just got chills, and that song pretty much sums up what this year is going to be, I think, from what my cards are that I pulled, because it's about not putting our faith in the world, not putting our faith in what's going on out there, but putting our faith in our own abilities, our own sovereign beings, to know that we are taken care of, and that through connecting to Spirit, everything that happens is for our benefit. And so we can sacrifice those convenient thoughts and distractions that keep us from aligning and claiming who we truly are. And this is the year for us to own that, to own our own abilities, to have the faith in ourselves and our connection to Source, that it doesn't matter what's going on around us. Does that make sense? So that is what I see. You know, my intention was, what do we need to know right now? Like I said, this is not to set predictions or to be a portent for what's going to happen. This is a snapshot of the energy right now, the collective energy or of everyone who is watching this video right now. It's a snapshot of the energy now, you know, and there's always a little bit of foreshadowing coming in and little bit of influence from the past and from the future, etc. But this is how it stands now. But again, your future is in your hands. The future is unwritten. The reason... So, a lot of times we get caught fearing the unknown, especially like when it comes to the future, like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Because we can't see beyond that darkness, that uncertainty, the unknown. the darkness is just the unknown. It's the great mystery because we don't know what's going to happen. But here's the thing. It's not going to happen to us. There's nothing that's going to happen to us. We are the creative force in our lives, right? And so everything that happens is going to happen through us. And so we are no longer claiming to be victims of the world. We are the changers of the world. And as we shift and change ourselves, lighten up, enjoy ourselves, become and embody our own purpose, and recognize ourselves as the spiritual beings we are, the world around us will change and new futures will open up. That's when the path lightens up. And that is you pulling from the darkness the light of the thread of your path forward. You are the one who brings light to that path. You are the one who picks out of the infinite number of possible futures that darkness holds, the darkness being the womb of the cosmic mother. You pick out which path to bring into the light. And so it's unknown because you haven't written it yet. It's dark because it's an adventure and you don't know what's going to happen yet. You know, we set our intentions, like I was saying with Badger, it's like, you know, setting our destination on the GPS, and then the GPS tells us how to get there. We just hold that intention, and we may make wrong turns, you know, and then the universe just goes rerouting and will bring you back to center, back to the quickest, easiest path to get to that intention. And we might have to go through some things on the way there, but that's just, it's like, it's a done deal. Once you put that destination in, you're going to get there. Come hell or high water, as my dad used to say. So trust yourself. Trust your connection to Creator, to the divine, however you think of it. Know that you are important, that you are a part of the makeup of the universe, that if you weren't here, there would be, the universe wouldn't exist without you, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And know that anything is possible in that darkness, the unknown future. Anything is possible. Every possible reality exists. So rather than, oh my God, what's going to happen to me? Start thinking, you know, that's that going in the hamster wheel, round and around and around and around. Overthinking, trying to set things up, trying to stack the deck, when you really, all you need to do is surrender yourself and let the universe, that GPS, carry you where you're going. That's what this year is about, is learning that trust in ourselves, in our connection. So, but I do feel things are going to lighten up this year, going to have more breathing room, more togetherness, more love, more recognition of that spirit within each other. So I think we are turning a corner, that there's this big shift coming this year. Like I said, this is just a snapshot of this moment. It could change, it could shift. We could decide to do something even better, or we might decide, well, no, let's go entertain those other things for a while, or whatever, you know. So it's still, the future is unwritten. Just like that, I love that song by Natasha Bedingfield about the future is unwritten. You're writing the book as you go. You're both the actor and the writer and the director of your life. You are here for a purpose. No one else. You are not bound by the predictions, by the opinions, by the expectations of anybody else. You are here for your own purpose. We are all here for that realization of who we are as spiritual beings. And in so doing, spreading that love, spreading that awareness, like I said, raising that frequency. By raising our own frequency, we raise the frequency of the world. So be in your light, be in your love, be in your fun. Look for the happy surprises. Look for the adventure. Know that no matter what happens, you are going to come through it. And when you know that, then everything else becomes an adventure. Because it's no longer, am I going to survive this? It's like, ooh, I know I'm going to get through this, but what's the new gift? What's the new understanding that's going to come up? What new things am I going to learn? Who am I going to be once I let go of this such and such thing or thought or belief? You know, it's exciting. It's an adventure. And we've got the mental constructs already. We're just working on building up that emotional support for those constructs. That is what this year is going to entail, and becoming the bigger and better version of ourselves. So, oofda. That is what I see. Because we did 5 cards rather than 3, like the normal 3 we usually do, I took up our entire time with the reading, so we're not going to have time for a... normally I do a guided journey with my drum so that you can, normally everyone has like one card that connects with them, but this is a general reading for everybody. So, but if you like, I know last week, what was the date of that? Where's the calendar? Last Monday night, I did do that drumming shamanic journey to meet the animal that spoke to you, that card that you chose. And so if you are up to the challenge, what I would do, I would recommend you can go back and listen to that, just the journey part of it at the end when you see me come up with my drum on the video. And go through that guided meditation, the guided journey, and call in Antelope. Antelope, who is at the center of this reading, in reverse, and ask Antelope, what is it I need to sacrifice to embrace my greater self? That is the question I would ask. That is what I would do. So feel free to go back and rewatch last week's, or the week before that. I believe I also did the meditation. But for now, that is it. Oofda. It feels like that was a really long hour. But I thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to this every week. And as you can tell, I'm a little bit tired tonight. I was doing readings all day today already, but I always have a little bit more energy left for this because I so enjoy it. And I so appreciate you for joining me. If you enjoyed this, please, please, please share it far and wide. If there are people you think might get something out of it. We do this every Monday night at 8 o'clock. Invite your friends, connect with friends, like tag friends, whatever. Share the love. And I will share this to my Facebook page, and I will also upload it to my Perching Wolf Studios YouTube channel. So subscribe to that, and there are over a year's worth of these readings as well as ceremonies. And I just started putting up videos. I've got 5 new videos of some stories I was telling, some that I wrote, some that I'd heard, etc. And I'm planning on doing more videos this year. I'm going to have more classes coming up. So check out my website, perchingwolfstudios.net, and see what's percolating. I'm going to have some new classes coming up, like I said. Check and see what shamanic services I offer. You know, I can do individual readings. If you liked that reading tonight, that's kind of what you get. More personalized for how it affects you rather than a more generalized one like tonight. But you'll get the little hints and little messages from the animal guides. And I do other healings and shamanic work, shamanic coaching. If there's something in your life you need a shamanic perspective on, some challenge that you need help, and bringing in my helpers and your helpers. I also do mentoring, shamanic mentoring. And I'm going to have another year-long program coming up. And I pushed that back to the beginning of February, so we have about a month. But I'm planning on starting another year-long shamanic course, monthly course, to take an entire year following the path of the shaman. So if that's interesting to you, you can email me or message me on my page to get more information, or keep checking my website. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah. And this is free. This is a gift from my heart. And at the same time, if you feel so moved, I happily, graciously accept donations. And you can find my PayPal link in the description and information underneath this video. And if you want to throw me a couple dollars or something, I am so appreciative of that. And I think that's it. So I know I'm feeling a little still kind of ramped up from last year. I'm feeling a lot of weird energy shifting and stuff, so I don't feel out of the clear yet, but I have so much hope for this year. I really feel like there's a shift coming, that things are going to just start to fall into place. So, and I hope that is true. I feel it's true for me, and I hope it's true for you. According to what I did, the reading tonight, I believe it is. And so I just want to wish you all a very happy new year. Let's do this. You know, going back to Antelope, you know, let's not look at all the predictions and, you know, look at what's going on in the astrological charts and the energy and blah, blah, blah that we have to watch out for and duck. And it's like, let's find out where we're meant to head, knowing that every shift that comes, whether astrologically, energetically, whatever, that it is a part of our path. And treat it like you chose it and say, okay, how am I going to become better because of this? Only good can come of this, whatever it is. So let's take the reins. Let's ride into the sunset of our own lives, our own purposes. Let's do this thing, all right? Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Happy New Year. And I hope to see you again next week, Wednesday night at 7 o'clock if you're interested. I also do a sacred pipe ceremony, holding space for people to connect to spirit. So if that sounds interesting, please join me on Wednesday night. And otherwise, have a wonderful, wonderful week. Know that I love you, that I see you, and that I honor you. Have a wonderful, wonderful night, a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you soon. Go shining. Bye.